Hey everyone, Dr. Welch here. We're going to do a quick tour of our course Blackboard site. It has a lot of information and a lot of people get confused. So as you can see, I'm logged in as Thad Welch, your instructor, and I have the system in instructor mode, so there's things down here that you don't normally see. I can make all that go away by going into student preview mode. So it takes a few seconds to get into preview mode, and you won't have that yellowish gold stripe across the top saying that we're in preview mode, but everything else should pretty much look the same. So this is the way the system should look to you when you first log in. It comes up in the dashboard, and the dashboard has some information, but it's not incredibly useful. You can get back to it by clicking here on the dashboard link. So the very first thing you should be doing, or should have already done, is to go to the welcome video. And I'm
Hey
sure
everyone, Dr. Welch here.
I'm hoping that you've watched that. If not, please go do that. Stop this video now and go do that. So the announcements are next, and so far, it's Friday the 6th of May, the last day of final exams. The only announcement was this kind of alerting announcement to get you ready. There'll be another one out on Monday, and then we'll send out modules as necessary, but at least once every time we shift modules. So the Google Calendar, there was a separate video to explain how that works. Blackboard Collaborate, another video on how to launch the Collaborate sessions. The syllabus is actually a module unto itself. So when you click on the top, this is a quick summary of what's going on. If you notice the start dates, due dates, so module 0 and 1, 2 weeks, module 2 and 3, 2 weeks. In red here, module 4 and 5, we've only got a week assigned here, and then the last 3 modules, 2 weeks. We've got 8 modules, counting module 0, the admin module. We have 9 modules to complete in 7 weeks in the summer session. So these are the deadlines, these are the due dates, but this is not actually the syllabus. This is a real quick thing. We've never had to change this, but the official syllabus is here when you click on this link on the top left. Very, very litigious document. This is created by, or primarily by, eCampus. If you scroll through, some red things were added to help remind people of some of the challenges that people have encountered. So here we are starting the course, module 0 and 1. You've got 2 weeks, and again shown here in red, module 4 and 5, you've only got 1 week for that. So look it over. There is a syllabus quiz, so we're gonna jump back to I screwed that up. We're gonna jump back to Blackboard. Sorry about that. As you can see, I've got a number of Blackboard sites. Summer of 16 is where we are, and we were on syllabus. So that was the link we were at. Go back there. This is called the breadcrumbs. When you move back to the one that activates, it does the equivalent of the back button. Historically, the back button in the browser has caused Blackboard to lock up. It's gotten considerably better in the last few releases, but you're encouraged to use the breadcrumbs instead of the back button. Participation guidelines is a whole bunch of, again, litigious things. There is a syllabus quiz, and there is a introduce yourself section on the discussion boards, which we'll go to next. So make sure you introduce yourself. As you can see, even though we haven't officially started the course, one of your classmates has already gone ahead and launched in to the module 0. Facebook page. We have a Facebook page which largely mirrors the content of Energy in the News. So Energy in the News is a Blackboard collection of links that we have made available to you. They are completely optional, But again, if you're interested in energy, this may be helpful. So these two pretty much follow each other. As you know, the Blackboard site, so Energy in the News, you lose access to that as soon as this semester is over, or the session in this case is over. Facebook, you can continue to follow us if you want. The Costa Rica renewables, we sent one of our TAs, Morgan, to Costa Rica. Costa Rica at times supplies 100% of their energy from renewable energy. So from a BSU student perspective, these are some of the observations she made. The Energy Gang is a podcast. If you do a lot of commuting, or if you have time to listen to podcasts, a lot of information about energy, and they're doing their discussions every couple weeks, every month at times. Sometimes they take holidays and breaks, but again, completely optional information. Faculty information, dated photo of me, and there's Andres, our lead TA. Andres is a PhD student. I've been here at Boise State for 9 years, teaching this course for a few years, and not required unless you're really interested in who we are. IR documents, we have a number of infrared or IR cameras. Hopefully you'll get a chance to come to one of the open houses and do some hands-on with infrared cameras. So this is showing the different temperatures of different types of light bulbs, and if something's getting hot, it's wasting energy. These are the friction brakes on a school bus. A bunch of 5th graders took that picture. There's a dog. There's me standing on a cold floor. You can see warm legs, cold toes. You can use these things in your house. So this is a backsplash over a sink, properly insulated, nice and warm, improperly insulated, cold. So the infrared cameras have any number of uses, and we use them to find energy losses. So again, hopefully you'll come by. This is what people look like in infrared. So there's our teaching assistants from the spring of this last year. And during the traditional semesters, we have a lot of teaching assistants. This last spring we had 18. So, lots of opportunities for help during the traditional semesters. Not nearly as much because of a smaller enrollment during the summer. So this is a collection of other videos associated with energy and other items. If you find something you think the class would benefit from, send me an email or send Andres an email, and we'll look it over, and who knows, maybe we'll add it. So this gets you back to the course dashboard, just like this link. So we'll just click on that to show you that that works. So this is a lot of where you're going to spend your time. So the modules, this is how you actually access the module. So info about how to get started. Then you do the modules in order. Modules 1 through 8 are the actual academic modules. Module 0 is really an administrative module. So let's start on the first academic module. And the layout is almost identical for modules 1 through 8. It always starts with an introduction and a checklist. So here, the learning objectives, you should always make sure you know the content of the learning objectives, because 99% of what you're going to get tested or quizzed on comes from the learning objectives. Down here in the checklist, these are the due dates, just like the Google Calendar video explained. The last Wednesday of every module has an energy quiz. The last Friday of every module has a quiz or a test. Quizzes only cover the current module and are for the odd-numbered modules, so modules 1, 3, 5, and 7. Tests are comprehensive. They cover the even modules, so 2, 4, 6. And the 8th module is the final exam, and it's just like any other test other than it covers the entire course. The Sunday of the beginning of the next module is a quick survey. It's worth points, and that's the part of the course that most people forget about. So let's use the breadcrumb, get back. The things in red are worth points. So as we had said, the last Wednesday, Friday, and then Sunday of each module, there is a quiz. This is a two-part event, so there is another energy quiz. It draws from the exact same question pool as this. And then there is the quiz or the test itself, which is asking you questions about the learning objectives. I said this is almost identical between the modules. The exception is there are 2 extra credits, problems or opportunities in the 8 modules, and whenever there's an extra credit announced, the numbering system, the 6, 7, 8 gets shifted by 1 because of the extra credit being there. So the video tutorials, this is where you are now, the getting started videos. As you can see, this is the one I'm making right now, and these 2 were already completed earlier today. The video tutorials have both the getting started when you are having issues or difficulties with solving the energy quiz problems. We've got a number of videos made by a number of different people approaching it from different perspectives on how to do the various energy calculations. So our hope is that the videos help. And finally, we have some embedded videos dealing with the infrared camera and some things about the different types of light bulbs that you may find interesting. So the State Board of Education added for all DLNs, and ENGR 100 is a DLN, that you be aware of the scientific method. So this is an engineering course, so we also wanted you to be aware of the engineering method. So the engineering method emphasizes problem solving. So we like to think of engineers as being the world's problem solvers. So this is an iterative loop where we find a problem, we come up with solutions, then we test them, and we iterate that loop. Whereas the scientific method primarily emphasizes discovery through experimentation. So you come up with a hypothesis, you do an experiment, and then you draw conclusions based on that experiment. So we had mentioned that there are energy quizzes. This is a website that one of our computer scientists, teaching assistants, created in an attempt to help you verify that you know what's going on. So it's a website that just comes up with problems and auto grades. It doesn't grade, it tells you whether you got the right answer or not. There's no requirement to use this, but again, it's hoped that you will feel comfortable with the calculations. So this reference link is a collection of references from the modules. So if we go to the modules, and we had looked at module 1, if we go to the very bottom, there are the references. And so what we've done, so you don't have to hunt through each of the 8 academic modules, we've collected all the references here. So if you need a reference, you can find it hopefully quicker here. The FAQ, the frequently asked questions, Andres put this together based on having interacted with hundreds and hundreds of students and hearing the questions that they regularly ask. So, if you're into FAQs, that's hopefully helpful. So we talked about the dashboard. That's where the whole system starts. Tools, practically no one uses this. The only regular purpose for tools is to get to collaborate. And again, as you learned in one of the other videos, we've pulled this shortcut out so you don't have to go to tools. My grade, since I'm logged in as a student preview, you will start to populate these different fields. And if you ever get a missing item email, say for module 0 and 1, you can sit here and say, okay, module 0, module 1, those are the things that should have grades by them, and if they don't, if there's just a dash instead of a number there, that's what's missing. And again, what the missing item email will say is if you're having difficulty figuring this system out, and we regularly have students have problems with this, send Andres, send me an email, and we'll help you figure it out. So that's the My Grades. And then finally, the Blackboard help is a OIT, so the Office of Information Technology here at Boise State's attempt to help you learn Blackboard. And what we found is that most people, first of all, don't even know this website exists, and second of all, this is a general Blackboard tool and it isn't tailored to this existing course. So that's why we have created these videos in an attempt to help you get started. And again, the open houses are an attempt to help you answer the questions that you may have about the course. Not everyone is in the Boise area, the Treasure Valley. Not everyone can attend for any number of reasons. So another tool, but one that most people don't use a lot, and that's why it's down here at the very bottom. Hopefully this video has helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.